Thank you. Thank you. is Trekzone's Vegas or Bus Tour, live with your host, Matt Miller.
Well, welcome to the Trekzone live stream, live from Waikiki, because Aaron Vanderkley can't wait to show you his Star Trek fan film, Swangsong. It's his fifth one. It's called Line of Duty, and right after the opener, we're going to have a chat with him, and then I'm going to bring you the film Line of Duty, a Star Trek fan production. It's live and exclusive on Trekzone this morning, this afternoon, or tonight, wherever you are watching in the world. Well, joining me now from his home in Perth is the most successful Australian fan filmmaker. It is, of course, Aaron Vanderkley. Aaron, welcome back to Trekzone, buddy.
Thank you, Matt. It's a pleasure to be here and also to be, held in such high regard.
Well, you have done some amazing work, and I'm really disappointed that this is it.
Yes, this is the end. The end of an era.
Are you going to do a John Farnham and say it's the end but come back?
Yeah, I'll do a farewell tour. I'll do another set of 5, and then I'll just keep going. No, it's certainly, look, never say never, but for the moment, it's, I think, like I sort of said before, I always thought about doing 5, and I think for the moment, in terms of creativity and I guess sort of exhaustion, 5 is enough for me.
So it was always sort of the plan, wasn't it, to make 5 to get to this point? Does that help with the creativity to sort of have an end goal in mind, as you say, with that fatigue? You know that there's a finish line, and you can wrap everything up.
I guess I am someone who gets bored very easily. So when I find one idea, I sort of have to work on something else and then work on something else. And that kind of was the case with all these films, really. After we did the first one and we won those awards for the first one, and I started thinking about the second one, I sort of had ideas for Good Men and, in a way, Starbase One at the same time as The Derelict. So those types of stories are always in my mind. But then, of course, it sort of does create a bit of pressure, and I certainly felt the pressure doing this one where I knew this was the last one, so I had to make it good, and I had to try and think of, an idea that would be, I guess, better than the last. I kind of always want to improve either my writing or our storytelling, or our cinematography or something as we go through these. But I suppose they sort of happened in quite a short space of time, so you sort of learn different bits and pieces from each film, and then you carry that over. But yeah, so 5 was always a plan, but sometimes, in some cases, it helps sort of narrow down ideas, but in other cases, it sort of puts a little bit of pressure that big one to go. So, yeah.
Well, of course, the 5, the titles of all 5 are The Needs of the Many, The Derelict, Good Men, The Fall of Starbase One, which I was very excited to be on set with,
yes.
And now Line of Duty as well. So there's this undercurrent of the Romulan War. Where are we sort of at with Line of Duty? What's happening?
So essentially, the story of Line of Duty takes place over a year. And I guess to explain for people who might not know or might not have seen the previous
How do people not know? Go watch them. Stop watching this live stream. Go and watch those other
crack
ones.
into it. It's actually probably a good idea to watch the other 4 before you watch this one. But yeah, so this story is about an ambitious young officer who's always dreamt of traveling to the stars. And once she gets there, she discovers that actually it might not be where she wants to be. And so we see, or we get a taste of over a year her adventures, and the previous sort of 4 films take place within that year. And this film, the end of this film happens, I guess, concurrently with the fall of Starbase One. So we never quite get into the Romulan War. All these films have the sort of sowing the seeds of the Romulan War thing going on, but we never get into the Romulan War. I guess this is like a good bridge between the end of Enterprise and the Romulan War.
And I think we've spoken about this before with this officer that is questioning whether Starfleet is for her. It's something that really hasn't come up in Star Trek. That everyone's happy. It is military service, and everyone's happy to be there, and it's all shiny, happy people. But you're really diving into the minutiae of what it means to be a Starfleet officer, especially in this time of the 2150s.
Yes, and I guess that's sort of the theme with all the films in a way, is that I guess the values and the morals and the ethics of Starfleet. Like the first one is about sacrifice, and the second one is about making an unpopular decision. The third one's about how far you can go for what is good, well, what someone defines as good. And the fourth one, is a combination of like a political choice over what's the right thing to do. So there's always this. I guess it's just something that I'm interested in, but I guess the psychology of what it means to be Starfleet, and I guess that sort of comes across a little bit in Discovery now. They have this mantra where like we are Starfleet, and I like to think that I thought of that first. That's something that I watched Discovery and was like, wow, that's what the kind of thing that I'm trying to get out of my films. That it's what does it take to be part of this organization? What values do you have as a person? So yeah,
it's far more human in a way, really, isn't it? To not just blindly do something, but to think about why you're doing something.
Yeah, and that's I guess what this character, or what we'll see this character discover in this film, is that she studied really hard to get where she wants to be, and is really excited by it, and actually it might not be what she expected, and it to be okay with the fact that it's not that she's weak or she's not cut out for it, anything like that. It's just that you can change your mind, and that can be okay. And I think as a society, I think that's something that we've sort of our attitudes have changed. I guess when my grandparents came to Australia, they came from a war-torn era, and they had nothing, and they built a life to provide for their family and to get a job and work hard and to live. Whereas now I'm fortunate to be in a generation where I can study what I want to, and if that's not what I want to do, I can change my mind and do something else. And I think as a society that sort of shifted for us, and I guess that's what I wanted to put in this film as well.
And to have the free time to be able to make these passions, make these films.
Yeah, and for people, it's so amazing to think that people around the world see these films and comment on these films and react to these films and share these films. And to I guess maybe not start a conversation, but to just present my version of Star Trek and people to respond to it is awesome.
Well, on this last outing, Aaron, you've really excelled. You've outdone yourself. You've gone out on location, and you've also directed 22 cast members. Let's tackle each of those separately. 22 cast, the biggest cast that you've had with your Star Trek fan films. How was that as a challenge as a director?
I think, with all of them, we sort of wanted to go bigger and better each time. The first couple were sort of two-handers, I suppose. And then the last one, we had a lot of extras with sort of three main characters. And this one, we sort of had a lead cast of 5, and then we had sort of secondary characters, and then we had loads of extras as well. So the first day, we actually sort of got the sort of big filming day with everyone done first. So it's always a logistical sort of challenge, a scheduling challenge to make sure everyone's available. And like I said, for the first day, we had a lot of makeup to be done to a couple of artists and a lot of costumes. It's just a matter of coordinating all that. So it is slightly stressful, and we have a very small space that we shoot in, so to have that many bodies in such a small space plus the crew is quite challenging, but it enabled us to, I guess, revisit other characters from the previous films. So I guess it's not really a spoiler, and these, I guess, don't really matter to the plot. They're just sort of kisses to the past. But I have a cameo in this film as the character I played in the first one.
Ah.
Jess, who played Fletcher in The Derelict, appears as a secondary character in this as well. She's part of the bridge crew on Challenger, which is the ship that's in the story. And also Zach, who played Odell in that story, has a little, I guess, voiceover cameo. You can probably barely tell that it's him, but I wanted to get him involved in that as well. From number three, we have Frank, who played Toujours. He also appears in one of the scenes as well. And then I guess for the fourth film, like I said, this film takes place concurrently with Fall of Starbase One. So we have a sort of little portion in this film where one of the characters says, we're picking up a transmission from Starbase One, but it's been cut off. And that obviously links back to the end of Fall of Starbase One, where they try to send a signal and it doesn't make it. So I've tried to link them all together, and like I said, they're not relevant really to the plot of this story, but they're just sort of I guess little cameos or little kisses to the other films. That sort of link it together.
I love those sort of Easter eggs. They're blink and you miss it sort of thing.
And then I guess for the fourth film, like I said, this film takes place concurrently with Fall of Starbase One. So we have a sort of little portion in this film where one of the characters says, we're picking up a transmission from Starbase One, but it's been cut off. And that obviously links back to the end of Fall of Starbase One, where they try to send a signal and it doesn't make it. So I've tried to link them all together, and like I said, they're not relevant really to the plot of this story, but they're just sort of I guess little cameos or little kisses to the other films. That sort of link it together.
I love those sort of Easter eggs. They're blink and you miss it sort of things, and a wink to the audience, a wink to the past. That's really cool. Everyone is watching this live stream right now, obviously anticipating the premiere, but we're just going to hold on a little bit longer because I do want to ask about the location shooting. You get out, you spread your wings. In some of the images that you've been posting on Facebook as well, we're learning that it's World War II France. How am I going there?
Yes, that's right. So I guess I always wanted to do a location shoot. If you think about it, location shooting should be easier than filming in a studio because you don't have to build a set and all that stuff. We were going to go on location for Fall of Starbase One. That didn't happen. I dedicated a day where we went out and we filmed two different locations. So, like you said, the first one is supposed to be France in World War II, and the second location is just our two characters going on a hike, basically, before they take on their assignment. Yeah, visually seeing our characters in a real life setting is pretty cool, and it meant we got to do some fun things like go back in time. So yeah,
and of course it is a big props to your beautiful mum, who is the costume designer, the costume maker. She was awarded for her work with the costumes, so it's a huge kudos to her. It's a huge kudos to her for and your dad as well for letting you take over their house really for all these filming days.
Yes, that is true. They're very very tolerant, very kind. To be honest, the scheduling of this film was more of a rush to get out of their house as quickly as possible. As you can imagine, well, as you know, we have a lot of big sort of set pieces, and they've sort of been in storage. Yeah, Mum and Dad would like their storage back, so that's, I guess, the rush to get, to get this film done.
Was that storage the back patio again?
It was. But yeah, no, I was really happy that my mum got that award. That was so lovely of them to sort of do that and recognise that. And yeah, she especially in the last sort of 3 films, she's definitely worked hard creating like the Romulan costumes in Fuller Starbase 1. The Vulcan costume that Dan wore was insane. This really cool robe with this green silk, and then for this film as well, we had so many extras in Starfleet uniforms and the World War II soldiers, and yeah, loads of costumes. I think our main characters had at least 3 or 4 different costume changes. So yeah, there was a lot of stuff to organise, and I guess dumped that on her, and yeah, she delivered. So yeah, my parents are extremely supportive of this, and yeah, it's very lucky to have them.
Now, one thing I think I've forgotten to ask you is, are they Trekkies?
Yes. So my dad is a very big Star Trek fan. My dad, I suppose lots of people's parents sort of got me into Star Trek. And I think I sort of said before, but I guess I got into making the Enterprise fan films because my dad loves Enterprise, and he was absolutely gutted when it got canned. So I guess I'm kind of making these to fill the void that my dad is currently lacking. So yeah, and we used to watch Star Trek as a family when I was a kid. So we still watch Discovery together as well. So Mum enjoys it as well. So they, at least it's a world that they understand, which is good.
Well, there is nothing like unconditional parental support to help you with your hobbies and to pay the bills when you've had enough and you just want to keep playing with your hobby, isn't it?
Tell you what, it's an expensive hobby.
It is. I don't know.
Coming out of your own pocket, it's an expensive hobby.
I don't know why we ever thought it was such a good idea, but did you have fun, Aaron, through all of this?
Yes, absolutely. You develop a little family over the filming days, and you really do look forward to seeing people and doing cool things. And what I love is to be able to, I guess, bring actors and crew that would normally work on a sort of, maybe not boring is the right word, but boring Australian kitchen sink drama, with family drama and relationships and things like that, and to bring them into a setting where you're on a spaceship or you're, out in the hills trekking through a forest in World War II. Like, that doesn't happen, especially for actors, every day, and not every film project. So, yeah, to bring people on board and to see their reaction when they come into the set and, are amazed that it actually looks like another place is awesome. And, yeah, to meet new people and work with new people, it's a great experience, and I'm so thankful to everyone that's involved for giving up their time to indulge my hobby, basically. But yeah, at least they get something out of it that's pretty cool on their showreel, and they all are extremely supportive and love it. So yeah, I can't wait to share it with them as well.
And of course, the people that I've completely forgotten, as bad as I am, the people that have helped you make this film, the behind the scenes crew, Clayton and all the guys. Here's your chance now, Aaron. Let's give them a good old puff. How great has your crew been?
They've been awesome. Clayton was with me for number 2, 3, 4, and 5. He's a very talented cinematographer, and what I love about Clayton is he'll do a recce of a room and instantly know where he needs to put the lights, and that's pure talent there. And yeah, he does a great job on all the grading and gives me feedback for my edits and stuff. So he's a great help. And a great talent. And then for the last 2 films, I've had Blake and Stephen, who Blake was sort of under Clayton's guidance, doing all the gaff work and assistant camera, and just a really great, friendly guy. on set. And again, Stephen actually took over sound at some point because we sort of had a couple of dropouts for the soundy. So Stephen took that baton up, and as well as doing first AD work. So yeah, they're, you know, three really great guys that have sort of, again, donated their time to help me out here, and yeah, very, very grateful for them.
All right, well, it has come to that time in today's live stream, live from Waikiki, that we're going to play this film. I'm getting a jump on you, the official release, 8 hours ahead of you, with this very special live premiere of Line of Duty. Aaron, can you give us, say, maybe a one-sentence synopsis of what we're about to watch?
Okay, yeah, so yes, like I said, an ambitious young officer who's always dreamt of traveling to the stars soon discovers that it might not be somewhere she wants to be. And yeah, it's the last of our sort of era of fan films, and I'm very happy that it's premiering at Trekzone, and I hope you enjoy it.
Come in.
You can't be serious.
Too late. I already put my resignation on the captain's desk this morning.
Well, then you're lucky I picked it up before you had a chance to read it.
You had no right to do that.
If this is about Charlie,
Not everything I do revolves around Charlie.
then what? Please, tell me, because I'm at a loss. You're such a kind, intelligent person with a bright career ahead of you. Why are you throwing it all away?
I don't consider teaching as throwing away my career. I'm an exolinguist with a double major in anthropology. I work so hard to get out here and talk to aliens and learn about new cultures. New life, new civilizations. That's what the recruitment poster said. But after this year, I just don't belong here anymore. It's not what I signed up for.
I see. You think this is what I signed up for?
Of course not.
I wanted to see the stars just as much as you, just as much as Charlie, just as much as every single member of this crew. But things happen, plans change, and that's when I realized Starfleet was more than exploring. It's a duty to others, to Earth, to the coalition of planets, to people who need people like us who are good at their jobs, to stand up in the face of adversity.
I've made up my mind.
Okay. I'll speak to the captain. We should be arriving at Starbase 1 within the hour.
Is there a reason why you always have to be 5 steps ahead of everyone?
You have a shuttle to catch.
In 3
And
hours?
at the rate you're going, we might not make it.
Don't deflect. We've come all this way. We're not going to miss out on the view.
Are you excited?
To climb to the top?
No, to start the mission.
I just can't believe after the absolute torture we put everyone through at training, they still assigned us to the same ship.
Maybe it's because we make such a good team.
Yeah. You bring the brains, the lip, and apparently the stamina. And I bring...
The thrusters to get us there.
Well, I was going to say everything else.
Of course. The most important part.
There it is.
Okay, let's go.
Oi, this is a moment and you're ruining it.
I'm proud of us. Finally gonna get out there together. What?
Smile.
Come in.
Ensign Wallace reporting for duty, sir.
Nice to finally meet you, Ensign. Can I get you anything?
No thank you.
I must say I received quite the number of recommendations on your behalf when I was looking for a new comm officer. I was very impressed with your academic record, as it seems were many of your instructors.
Thank you, sir. I worked hard to be here.
And here you are. And I was most impressed with your drive and determination. Challenger may not be the newest ship in the fleet, but we've been out here long enough to notice that something is stirring in the galaxy. And if it strikes, when it strikes, I'm going to need people like you aboard this ship.
I see.
So while your studies will be valuable to our mission, your determination will be our greatest asset. For your first assignment, Ensign, we're going to be meeting with a species called the Oral. There's some fascinating interstellar activity in their solar system that Starfleet would like us to investigate, with their permission, of course.
Of course.
This is all the data that we have on the Oral from the Vulcan database. It's not much. Let's see what you can do.
Aye, Captain.
Oh, and Ensign, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Locas, Cude finis finalo sivamer, Isant navi inga tinos, Starfleet starship, Mandi decisime, Otrava umnes missiona, Explore mandi nova, Cohant et vita civili, Cohant et vita cum sa, Cune mor anta, Cune mor sivamer.
Remember, Ensign, today happened because of you.
You did it.
I did it.
Your first contact.
Our first contact.
Hey, I was just the driver.
Don't say that. What about all those study sessions?
That's true. If you passed out up there, I was more than prepared to say it all myself. I'm proud of you.
Thanks. For everything.
You're welcome. Now come on, let's enjoy the party. So much for Mr. Soltek's class on temporal mechanics. Vulcan Science Directory has proved that time travel is impossible. Yeah, I'd like to see him here now being shot up by Nazis in World War II.
They're not Nazis, they're Nazis. French Gestapo?
We should have just left it stupid thing behind. Let them blow themselves to kingdom come.
Charlie, we couldn't leave the crime still behind. It could have wiped out half of Europe in the wrong hands.
From what I've seen, he would have been doing these people a favour. No wonder it took a Third World War to get out of this barbaric part of history.
Look, it's confronting as this is.
Disgusting, more like.
It's history, Charlie. It's happened, and we can't change it. But for every Nazi, Gestapo, and the League, there are good people who would fight for the future.
Fred, rapid coverture.
Right now, this man is sacrificing his life for people he doesn't even know, all because he believes in the greater good.
What are you saying?
What I'm saying is, the atrocities that take place in this time, people learn from them, they see them, and they work towards building the future that we live in.
Right.
Hello.
Come on.
I didn't know you spoke French.
Wouldn't be a very good linguist if I couldn't speak.
This is the transport site.
Monsieur, c'est ici que nous devons nous séparer. Challenger energized.
Question my honor!
There's nothing honourable about this, Klingon. This isn't about skills, it's about money. If our captors could do this, they wouldn't need us. We're the most valuable people in this prison, and we need to work together.
You preach too much, human. I will slay you as easily as I did your pathetic Patak!
You're an old. You've gotten lazy fighting those who are weaker than you. Fight those who are worth victory over. Those who have no honor.
I'd rather die than fight alongside you.
Then you'll die a puppet, damned for eternity.
Get out of the way.
I think you started a revolt.
So much for our last mission.
Please. I don't have the energy to talk about this now.
I thought we were going to die in there.
We didn't.
I thought you were going to die in there.
I didn't.
I don't want you to go.
I know. I'm just a shuttle pilot on Challenger. And the night shift helmsman sometimes. The NX-06 is a brand new ship. I might get to fly full time. It's a good opportunity for me to do something I'm good at. Just like you.
It won't be the same.
It won't. But I think as you proved today, and time again, you're more than capable to do this on your own.
Status.
Main power is offline. Hull breach across decks B, C, and D. Reading 25 life signs. Out of 108. 3 are critical.
Communication status, Ensign. Ensign.
The communication system is down, so that's why they're not responding to our hails.
Firing maneuvering thrusters again, Captain. Moving away from the subspace minefield.
As soon as she's clear, send over emergency crews for the survivors and begin a full investigation.
Yes, Captain. Alert sick bay to prepare for major casualties.
He was on the bridge when they hit the mine. He's...
I know.
Friend of yours?
Yeah.
A lot of good people died on that ship. He was one of them.
Tactical alert. All hands to battle stations.
What's going on?
We just entered the system to find a Romulan fleet attacking Starbase 1. Columbia has been destroyed with all hands. Communications are being jammed. We're on our way back to Earth.
Man your station, Ensign. Commander Fletcher, report.
2 Romulan warships are in pursuit. They're matching our speed and accelerating.
Increase to 5.2.
Captain, we can't hold that speed for long.
Do it.
Aye, sir. 5.2.
Take weapons offline and divert all power to the structural integrity field.
Done.
Ensign, we need to contact Starfleet. You need to think of a way to cut through that interference. You need to think of it now.
The jamming's coming from their ship, sir. We need to be out of their range. We can drop a subspace buoy.
The Romulans would vaporize it as soon as it were launched.
What if we put it in a shuttle?
We can tie it to the shuttle's communication system and amplify it directly from the source.
Captain, a shuttle would be defenseless.
Not if they can't see it. Scan the system. Look for a comet magnitude of 5 or greater.
So?
I'm betting their sensors can't penetrate a comet's tail.
That's a hefty bet, sir.
Fletcher.
Found one. Bearing 014, Mark 7.
Helm. Alter course and prepare to drop out of warp in the comet's tail.
Aye, Captain.
Captain?
Yes.
I'm picking up a transmission.
Romulan.
No, Starbase 1. But whatever it was, it's been cut off.
Engineering. I want you to take a subspace buoy to the launch bay and load it on Shuttle Pod 1.
Sir.
You have 1 minute, Mr. Odell. Make it happen.
Aye, Captain.
Captain, we're approaching the tail of the comet.
Please escort Ensign Wallace to Shuttle Pod 1. Prepare her for launch.
Me, sir?
Word of this attack must get back to Earth, Ensign. And you are the most qualified person aboard this ship to make sure that it does.
Captain, I'm not even meant to be here. I was meant to be teaching on Starbase 1. I should have been down there.
But you are here, Ensign. And we need you.
Captain.
You can do this.
Yes, sir.
Mahoney.
Good luck, Captain.
Wow, what have we just witnessed? How does it end? Will Ensign Wallace survive? Does Challenger survive? Does the transmission get back to Starfleet? It's a fantastic homage to Star Trek. Aaron Vanderkley's final film, this time with the help of CGI guru Sam Cockings. Stick around because Aaron and I are going to wrap up this whole live stream right after this. Aaron, wow.
Good.
That ending, dude. What the hell?
Yeah, it's a bit cruel. To be honest, I tried to... all the sort of films either end on a bit of a cliffhanger or, to be honest, end on a bit of a downer, actually. So, yeah. Who knows? Probably we won't see what happens afterwards. Highly likely we won't. But yeah.
Wow, dude. There's not much more to say about that, but I tell you what, the fact that you've teamed up with Sam Cockings for that CGI, it's just brilliant that you're able to make that work and get that into the film. The CGI just really adds that finishing level of polish over the top.
Yeah, I think it would have been great to include them in the other films, but it was just a matter of, well, I didn't even know Sam at the time that I was doing those. But no, he's a really great guy, and he sort of did those over a week, and we just messaged back and forth, and he's super friendly, super enthusiastic about his ships and stuff, and he wanted the best for me, which is awesome. And that shot of Challenger in space dock or dry dock, that was all him.
Yeah, right.
I just was going to have a ship fly by, and I was like, I was thinking, it'd be cool if it was at port. And he was like, yep, let's do it. He was like, I've got this shot, and I'm going to put these work bees in there, and I've designed them myself, and we're going to put the other shot in the ship in the background, and yeah, that was all him, and that's awesome. And that shot we ended up using for the thumbnail because it just looked so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did a great job at that.
And he
very happy. Thank you.
And he really adds that level of detail as well. As a director, you've got all the storyboards in mind, you've got all these shots in mind. Then Sam just comes up with this idea and just knocks it out of the ballpark, and you're like, I can't believe I didn't think of that before.
And I think I originally just sent him clips of Enterprise and just said, can you match it like that? That's all I really want. And he was like, I don't really do that. I sort of replicate the shots, but I pick different angles or I pick different paths, and that's exactly what he did, and it looks awesome. So it's great. It's great to sort of because one of the original worries about adding CGI ships for me when I started was it wouldn't match up with the live action. Either the live action would be shit and the CGI would be good, or vice versa. And I'm super happy that it worked out.
Outdoor locations, it was fantastic to see a scene there as we're running up the cliff to the beautiful vista. Shot in Perth, of course.
Yes.
Whereabouts in Perth? I was trying to think while I was watching.
It's John Forrest National Park, so it's a sort of very large bit of parkland in Perth, as you know. And it's not far from me. And I always used to go there as a kid with my dad and think this could be an alien planet, or this could be, anywhere in the universe. And we used it as Earth. So that's that's good. But yeah, no, it's awesome to take. I think one of the things that I like about Star Trek is Star Trek outside its context. So it's not on a ship. So to take people into sort of a tangible environment, and it's sort of it's a fun scene for them.
Yeah.
And makes out like the future is, you can go for a hike and then 3 hours later you can get on a spaceship and head up and start your job. So, yeah.
And of course, Juliette Godwin carried the show. Perfect casting for the lead. How do you do it? You've done this now 5 out of 5 times.
It's a real struggle, to be honest. Juliette actually was in a film with Blake and Stephen, who Stephen was the first AD for this film and Blake was the gaffer, and he worked on the previous film as well. And I was watching their short film that they did for uni, and I was telling them that I was struggling to find an actor for this role, and they were like, what about Juliette? And I got in touch with Juliette, and she was so excited to come on board. She's studying at WAPA at the moment, which is a drama school in Australia. It's quite a prestigious one. And yeah, she in the read-through, I don't think she 100% understood what was happening. And that's a good thing. I love that I can bring actors that probably don't know Star Trek, haven't seen Star Trek, and come along for the ride, and they get it by the end of it, right? So she came on board and she wrote pages of notes. When we finished, she left a script behind and she had 15 pages of notes, handwritten notes about her character. Oh, and she worked so hard on this project, and I think it definitely shows on screen, and she was great. And her and Will together. Will auditioned for another project, a music video that we didn't end up casting him in, but I remembered him and I sort of wrote this with him in mind. And they'd never worked together before, and I think on screen every scene of them together works perfectly. They're a great natural pairing. So, yeah. Fantastic.
Well, Aaron Vanderkley, buddy, you have done an outstanding job, and you've outdone yourself with this one. It is bittersweet to know that it is the last one for now. I think we should leave the ellipsis there at the end, the ... Yep. But for now, Mr. Aaron Vanderkley, thank you so much for choosing Trekzone to premiere your last Star Trek fan film to the world. It's been amazing, and it really hasn't bothered me that we're on the holiday part of Vegas or Bust.
Thank you so much, Matt, for supporting me and for supporting these projects for the last however many years. This was the perfect place to finish on with Trekzone, so thank you.
Oh, stop it, you're going to make me cry. Aaron, and of course you can find Aaron, buddy, give us all your socials so that we can people can check you out and keep following you and keep badgering you to make more.
Okay, so on Facebook, I'm Aaron Vanderkley Filmmaker, or AV Filmmaker, and on Instagram, I am Aaron J18, and on Twitter, I think I'm exactly the same. I don't know. You just search my last name, you'll find me.
So it's the difference between having Vanderkley and Miller. You can just say, just find Vanderkley. Fantastic, Aaron. Thank you so much, and thanks for live streaming. And of course, everyone can check it out in what did we say it was? 8 hours time from now, roughly.
Yes,
I think
that is right. 7 p.m. Australian Western Standard Time.
Fantastic. It's 18 hours behind Honolulu, so I might be asleep, but absolutely perfect. Aaron, once again, thanks as always, and we'll talk again in the future.
Thank you, Matt.